Well, for more on this, I'm joined in the studio by political analyst Marco Vicenzino. Marco, is this really a surprising victory for the AK party?
He defied the expectations, and the expectations were that this election would be a rerun of the June 5th election earlier this year, in which there would have been an inconclusive result, whereby forcing a coalition government. And there was an expectation that there was going to today's election would have basically solidified a new era in Turkish politics of coalition governments. But throughout, I think, was one thing is that he had one theme. Throughout many themes, but one principal theme was restoring stability. And the way to restore stability is providing the AK party, the AK party, with an outright majority. And that's what happened today. He took the big gamble. The gamble paid off. His political narrative paid off. But I think also at the same time is that people remember, many people identify Erdogan with political and economic stability of the first years of his rule. Remember, he's been in power since 2003, or his party has been in power since 2003, and many people long for that. And in the last 5 months since the June 5th election, there's been a lot of instability in Turkey, not just political and economic, but also from a security perspective. Terrorist attacks, the most recent being in Ankara, which claimed the lives of over 100 people.
Well, the region is seen as extremely important to its Western allies, particularly now. What are Britain and US likely to say about these results?
His Western allies, he's a known quantity to them. So for them, on the one hand, there's a sense of relief because of all the instability in the region, the recent instability in Turkey, a sense of continuity, relief, that he's a known quantity for them. But on the other hand, also there continue many concerns, whether it's approach in the war in Syria. He has had many differences with his Western allies, not only just the United States, but also with Europe on the migration issue. In recent times, there seems to be coming together some sort of agreement, but there are many sticking points with the West. But once again, he remains a known quantity.
We can see some live pictures now in the city of Konya. Clearly, there are thousands of people on the streets in support of the AK party. What key policies does Erdogan have going forward that are going to basically bring Turkey up?
He has several challenges, massive challenges. One being the economic being in recent years there's been a drop in the Turkish economy. His initial years, and for a good portion of his years in power, we saw that economic growth, but it hasn't been materializing in recent years. So he has to address that issue. On the political front, there's massive political polarization in the country. He has to reach out, which he has failed to do before. That's extremely important. And from the security perspective, also, you have the war in Syria and its spillover into Turkey, whether it's ISIS. Also, the key element being is he needs to restore some sort of peace process together, going together with the Kurdish elements of society. And then also you could see is that now with Syria specifically, recently we saw the Vienna conference take place, where all the powers sat at the table. He has to become more realistic. For example, his insistence on the political transition, that Assad leave power immediately, he may have to show more flexibility on that.
Very lastly, Marco, we've seen pockets of very small violence all around the country. Are these likely to escalate?
The potential for escalation is definitely there. The HDP, which is a Kurdish party, stunned the political establishment in the June 5th elections by coming in third at 13%. According to the initial numbers, it may have dropped to 10. To get into the parliament, you have to pass the 10% threshold. So that's causing a reaction amongst many who expected this to be some sort of a new Turkey, in which the Kurdish party, the elements, would have more of a presence in the political system. That it's not sure yet. There's uncertainty to that, and also there is still the peace process between the Turkish government and the Kurdish community is off track. He needs to put that back on track again. If he doesn't do that, we're going to see more instability within the cities and more violence regarding with the PKK. In recent months, there's been an escalation again with the PKK that can easily increase exponentially if he fails to reach out.
Wow, thank you very much, Marco.
Thank you.